Hello and welcome to Pearls of Parmadise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband Mason and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, April 10th, and I am so glad that you're joining me today. I know that there are so many things that you could be watching or doing, and I feel honored that you've decided to spend a little bit of your time with me. If you could, like, comment, subscribe, all of those things help other people find my channel, and I love getting feedback from all of you. First things first, first things first, you can find me at various places on the internet, although lately I have been offline more than on, but those places are linked down below, except for our Discord group. I am excited to add anyone who wants to join. That is where I am most active, although I have not been super active lately there either. But if you would like to join, please just send me a message either on Ravelry or on Instagram, and I will get you added. I just keep that link to myself so that we don't end up with spam and bots and that kind of thing. So let me know if you'd like to join. We have a lot of fun over there. All right, we have a lot to talk about. I have finished objects. I have March stats. I have winners. We have a lot. So let's just dive right in. First and foremost, thank you so much to all of you who commented on my last video and gave me feedback about both my log cabin blanket and whether or not you want to be contacted on Ravelry when you win, or if you want to hear your name on the podcast. And wow, you guys overwhelmingly, loud and clearly said that you want your name on the podcast. That is how you want to find out who won. So I have not contacted our winners for the make-alongs because that is not what you guys wanted. So here's what I think we're going to do going forward. I will continue to do things exactly like I have been. If I do not hear from a winner, like for instance, podcast, if you're new, I tend to upload videos typically every other Friday. At least for the time being. You never know, something could change. But that's typically how I do it. And I'm kind of thinking, if I haven't heard from a winner and it's time to upload the video after the winner announcement, so like 2 Fridays from now, if I haven't heard from a winner, at that point I will just reach out on Ravelry. Mainly because I don't like sitting in limbo for a super long time. So, and I want to make sure you get your prize, you know? So anyways, that's that. That's what we're going to continue to do. And then you all also gave me so much good feedback on my log cabin blanket. And while a few of you had some different ideas, the overwhelming response was, Courtney, you need to cut your losses and just reknit or knit a new center square. And I think you're all right. I think you're absolutely right. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my previous episode. I talk at length about a blanket that I've been working on for many years that has run into a little bit of a snag. And yeah, I did not work on that project over the last couple of weeks. I am going to just reknit that center square, but I haven't gotten it in me yet to do it, and that's okay. I've decided that it's just, I want it done by the end of the year, but I have other things that I wanted to get done. So that is that. Without further ado, let's chat about make-alongs, announce winners, and then get into the knitting, which is why you're here. So my first winner is for the super duper loosey goosey garment melt 2026. I will put that winner up here. Congratulations. If you can reach out to me either preferably on Ravelry. Everybody entered on Ravelry, so we'll just stick with that. If you are a winner of either make along, please reach out on Ravelry and let me know what pattern you would like. Any pattern on Ravelry that is valued at $10 US or less. Let me know and I will be happy to get that sent your way. So congratulations. And then and I guess I'll explain real quick. The super duper loosey goosey garment mal is exactly what it sounds like. It's just, hey, I want to knit garments this year and be a little more intentional about doing that. And if that sounds like something you want to do too, cool. It's just chatter. You don't have to finish anything. It's just to put work in on some garments that we're knitting or crocheting or whatever. I have, again, not been super active over there, and you will see I have been working up a garment storm over here. I need to get back in there. But yeah, it's just chatter. So I just drew, I think there were a total of, including myself, which obviously if I had drawn myself, I would have picked someone else. But I just random number generated posts 1 through 17. And yeah, I just use random number generator. Words are hard today. Okay, I have 2 winners for the quarter 1 of the Giant Mini Mal 2026, which I will also put right here. And congratulations to both of you. Same thing. Reach out to me, preferably on Ravelry. Let me know what pattern you want that is valued at $10 US or less, and I will get that sent your way. So if you're new, Giant Mini Mal is basically use your minis, use your leftovers, use your scraps, all the things. I've talked at length about it. There is a pinned post on my Instagram page that tells you all of the details. You can go back to episodes earlier this year that tell you all the details, but basically a scrap or mini or leftover is defined as a skein that weighed 50 grams, under 50 grams, 49 grams or less when you started your project. And you don't have to use the whole thing. You just have to use it somewhere in the project, even if it's just a pop of color on a pair of socks, or if it's a whole blanket of minis, which one of our winners did have like a whole big blanket of, I forget if it was scraps or minis, but that was very exciting. So, and head over there, check out all of the cool things in that finished object thread. If I'm remembering right, I believe there were 75 entries, 76 entries, something like that, which I think it was 75. Which was crazy because, yeah, that was crazy and delightful. So thank you so much for participating. Go ahead and start popping in your quarter 2 things. Everything just goes into that same finished object thread, and I adjust random number generator throughout the year. Okay, I've been rambling for too long. It is time. It is time. So let's talk about what I'm wearing, which is my first finished object of the year. I am so excited. I have finished my Love Note. So this is the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I will insert some footage of me wearing it in front of the camera so that you can kind of see how it lays. It's got a nice high-low hem detail. I do have my notes here. I should look at those. I knit the size large. I talked last episode, I did something a little bit funky with the yoke. I think I knit the length of the yoke to be the extra large size by accident. I just misread the pattern. And honestly, I love how it turned out. I think it turned out great. I think it looks wonderful. It fits me really well. This came out weighing 196 grams, which is way less than I thought. I had quite a bit of yarn left over. I was worried most of this sweater that I was going to run out, and I haven't weighed what I have left over of my main color, but it was way more than I thought I would have. So the main yarn is, this is fingering weight held double with a lace mohair. So the mohair, I used 2 different mohairs. I used Knit Picks Aloft in the colorway Pennyroyal, and then I also used Drops Kid Silk mohair, and I think it was the colorway Lavender. I don't know where the ball band for that went, so I'm actually not positive. And honestly, they're kind of interchanged throughout the project just based on which scrap I grabbed. You cannot tell the difference. They are almost identical. So, and then the main color is what is it? It's Tina's Twisted Fibers. in the colorway butterfly wings on it used to be ultra fingering base, and I'm not sure what she calls it these days, but it's just like a little bit of a lighter fingering weight. I knit a whole cardigan out of it. I wore it on my last podcast if you'd like to see it. And so I already had a garment knit with that yarn, and I had a ton left over. So I thought, well, let's try holding it with something else and see how that turned out. And I love this. I did knit short sleeves because I was worried about running out of yarn. I almost certainly would have had enough to do like 3/4 length sleeves, bracelet length sleeves, something like that. But I really like a short sleeved sweater. I find them very nice to wear in my climate. I live in Northeast Ohio. It does get cold. We had a lot of below freezing temperatures all winter long. But what I like about a t-shirt is I can throw on a jacket. I can throw something over it to keep my arms warm. But it's a great transitional piece. I find that my t-shirts tend to get more wear for longer throughout the year. And this is kind of like a springy color anyways. I feel like this could also be paired with the right pieces and it would be very fall. So anyway, short sleeves just tend to work better for me. I also, if you don't know, work at a public library, and I am moving around all day. I'm handling books all day. I'm doing a lot of things. It sounds like working at a library would be a very sedentary job, and it's actually a very physical, very active job. So I'm not just sitting at a desk all day. It's nice to have my arms free and not worry about, especially the like delicate nature of this fabric, not to worry about it snagging on anything. So anyways, I love it. 10 out of 10, would recommend this pattern. I really, really enjoyed knitting it. I've enjoyed wearing this. Like I said, it's only 196 grams. It weighs virtually nothing, which is a great time to go ahead and segue into my March stats. So I am working on trying to knit out more than I take in. I am trying very hard not to purchase yarn right now. It's not really in the budget, and I have so much. I want to knit up what I have. I have so many cool skeins that I want to get knit up. So anyways, I ended February with 630 grams positive. Let's see here. So I knit just this. This is the only thing I finished in March. So 630 minus 196 is 434 grams positive, which I think is okay. I think that's okay. That's all right. It's early in the year, and I am on a finishing kick now, so it's fine. Let's go to my next finished object. So this one does not get counted as grams out. Here's why. If you've been around, do you remember this? This is the 2x2 by Tin Can Knits. I knit this in Solstice Fiber Studios, super bulky, classic maybe, super bulky something. I don't know. I knit this back in September. The colorway is Let's Go Knock Biscuits. I knit the whole thing in September. I blocked it, ends woven in. I literally just needed to find and sew on buttons. This has been sitting on my Ravelry project page as a whip since September. I think I knit the whole thing in like 1 or 2 days. It didn't take me long at all. Look at these gorgeous cables. Like, I could have been wearing this all winter. I just needed to do the buttons. And I don't know about you. We're going to talk more about this in a minute. But I feel like sometimes I get to the stage of buttons and I like freeze and I don't know what I want to do. It feels like such a big decision. And so I do nothing. And then I have whips that languish forever. Yeah, I finished this in about 5 minutes this morning. I went upstairs to look through my button stash, immediately saw these 2 perfect purple buttons. I was going to go with something that would really stand out against this, and then I saw these and thought, you know what? No, I want this cable and the beautiful hand-dyed yarn to speak for themselves. And these buttons just match perfectly. So I can kind of put it on. So it's a piece that's knit flat, and then you can button it. So in the photos on the pattern page, they are wearing it. The person in the photograph is wearing it like this. And I think that's very cute. These buttons are slightly smaller than what is recommended. I do think a larger button would help this piece to lay flatter, but I do not care because at this point it is done, and that is so much better than waiting for the perfect button. And actually that's kind of cute. I like this better than when I tried it on, 25 minutes ago in the bathroom mirror. So there's that. And then the way that I think I am more likely to wear this, just in the climate that I live in, I think if you button it like this, that would be just so nice tucked in a winter coat. It comes up really nicely around your neck, but it doesn't, it looks professional. It doesn't look frumpy. It's not bunching. It's just really pretty and very, very classy looking. So anyways, I am not counting this as a 2026 finished object because the entire thing was knit in 2025. It doesn't get count as grams out. It just needed buttons. I could have been wearing this all winter, but I wasn't. So anyways, that is finished object number 2. And it felt so good to mark it officially as finished on Ravelry. I typically don't mark things on there as finished until they are like completely finished, ready to wear. And that just felt so good because I had been counting it technically as a whip. I didn't show this on my whip episode though because it literally needed buttons and that just seemed so silly. So anyways, finished object number 2. All right, and we'll just pop that down there. Finished object number 3 is not knitting. So I am going to table that and leave you in suspense until after the knitting portion is done. And I am going to go do a quick wardrobe change. Just hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. And yep, I am wearing my Stripe Me Down cardigan. This has been languishing as well. So let me find my little card for that. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I have little cards for each project. They serve as my notes, and I don't know, it's just nice to have all the information there. So I cast this on, this is a Stripe Me Down cardigan by Kara Eng. I cast this on November 1st, 2025. So this is the sweater that kind of kicked off my casting on a garment every month on the first of the month challenge that I'm, I guess, doing for myself. And so this was the first one I cast on. I'm done. The knitting is done. We'll get to what's waiting in a minute. Can you guess? Can you guess what's waiting? And why this isn't technically a finished object? Okay, so I used US size 10.5 needles, which is a 6.5 millimeter, and a US size 11 8 millimeter needle. I made the size extra large. I used Rowan Chunky Tweed in the colorways 880 and 889. I got this yarn thrifting. Such a good deal. And I have ordered buttons. You guys. So the last time that you saw this, I needed to knit like, I don't know which sleeve it was, doesn't matter. Like this much of a sleeve and do the button and neckband. And do you know why it languished? Do you know why? Because I didn't want to make a decision about the buttons. And so analysis paralysis, and it became an unportable project too. But still, I sat down with this last Saturday, April 4th, and I got this done in the day. And I did some other things too. So it wasn't like I just sat and worked on this all day. It was a good, most of the day, but I got this done. And I have ordered buttons. I was sort of stalling this morning, hoping that the mail would come ridiculously early because the buttons should be delivered today. I have ordered buttons from Hall and Hoof Farm. They are ceramic black bears, which I think on this like kind of rustic, like tweedy, bulky, cozy cardigan is just going to be the perfect little touch of whimsy. So I'm not going to insert footage today. I will do that for this one next time, because next time it will be a finished object, because as soon as those buttons come in, I want them sewn on. This is very warm. Again, I could have had this like all winter. I could have had this in the depths of the frigid temperatures and it would have been so good. But gosh, those buttons get me every time. And you know what? When I went to the Hall and Hoof website, it took me like 2 minutes to decide on the buttons. I saw these black bears and I was like, yes, that's it, and ordered them, and that was that. Does anybody else have button block? Is that what it is? Button block? I feel like that's what it is. Like writer's block, but with buttons. Please tell me I'm not alone. Please tell me I'm not the only one. But yeah, so it is, this cardigan is, I don't know all the technical terms. I think this is a drop shoulder. It feels like a drop shoulder to me. But I really don't know. I'm not up on all my cardigan terms yet. It's not a raglan. I know that. You knit it bottom up and it's seamless. Is it seamless? Yeah, you connect up here at the shoulders, but I think it's like a 3 needle bind off or something. So nothing too crazy. It tells you right in the pattern how to stripe it. I would say pattern clarity has been probably 4.5 stars. There have been a couple of spots that I've been like, wait, what? But overall, the pattern is written really well. I don't recall if the sizing is super inclusive or not. It is meant to be kind of oversized, which is how it's fitting me. And I really like it. I was a little worried about it, but it is so lovely and so cozy. I have a feeling in the fall and next winter, I will be living in this, but it is really too warm for right now. Let me see if I can scoot back a little bit just so you can see a little more. Yeah, there we go. I love the chunky stripes. I do feel like it's missing something, and I think those buttons are just going to be the right thing. I may wear this throughout the spring as a jacket because we are at that point here in Northeast Ohio most days where it is cool in the morning and warm in the afternoon and you kind of don't know how to dress. So I do think this would be a good layering piece for those days to wear as more of a jacket right now instead of as a cardigan. But anyways, that is my very nearly finished object that will be finished next week, next podcast. So next podcast, we'll do the whole bit with the, the video, the footage, all the things, but not today. And also, little sneak peek, I did weigh this, but I don't remember what it weighed, so I have to reweigh it. And I cut all the ends off, and that may have changed the weight, especially with this being a bulky yarn, and there were a lot of ends. But this is well over 600 grams, so I am not worried about getting grams out because this is a big boy. This one's going to get a lot of grams out. Okay, I am roasty toasty, so I am going to go change back into my love note. I will be back in a jiffy. Okay, much better. All right, next up, let's talk about some whips. Some things we are square in the middle of. Let's start with this. So this is I'm just looking for my right note. Normally I have these in order, but I don't today. This is my Advent mini scarf by Lizzie Schreiner. I am knitting this on a US size 5, 3.75 millimeter needle. And there's just one size. I am using the Fangirl Fibers Hocus Pocus Halloween Countdown from a few years ago. And I, since we last chatted, put in this whole stripe. and I think it is really pretty. I am ready to put in the next stripe, but I'm not going to until I get my ends woven in because I do not want to get to the end and have all of these ends. So I am going to be working on this project today, weaving in those ends and hopefully knitting the next stripe, which I do have the yarn wound up. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm really excited to continue working on this. It's a great social knitting project, so it actually is probably not what I should be working on when I'm home, but that's okay. I have been back to using random number generator to choose my projects that I'm going to work on for the most part, although I got an itch to finish that cardigan, and some little things like that, but for the most part, I'm using that, and that's what it picked, and so that's what we're going to go with. So this is the next color, this pretty tonal, it's showing up a little more blue on the screen. It's got a little more of a green undertone in person. It's definitely a teal, and so I think those are going to be that's going to be beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm excited to put in some more work on this. I don't think this is going to be a finished object by next week or anything. I've still got quite a ways to go on it, but I don't think I'm going to block it. Mason and I talked about this last night. I don't think I'm going to block this. I'm really loving the squish of the garter, and I don't know. I think my stitches are fine, so I may not block it. I don't want to lose that garter squish. And it's just a scarf. It's going to get wrapped around me. And yeah. So I don't think I'm going to block this, which also makes it a little more finishable because I don't have to factor in that time. It is living in this Halloween bag that I think is from Cherry Pie Cottage. I don't know if they make bags anymore or not. And yeah, I cast this on October 1st. It's Halloween themed yarn. That's why it's in here. I thought I would have had it done way ahead of now. But April, I think, is like 6 months till Halloween anyway. So I guess it's now my Half-a-ween project. Okay, so there's that. You know what? I just realized I'm going to back it up a little bit. There are a couple of knit-alongs that I wanted to highlight that I forgot about. So we'll take a little break here and highlight some other knit-alongs. I was able to get this into quarter 1 of the Yarn Stash Smash. I don't think I said I finished this on March 31st at like 9 o'clock at night. Like I was down to the wire on getting a quarter 1 and finished object. But anyways, I entered that in the Yarn Stash Smash 2026. I'll have that information linked down below. That is hosted by Karen of Bobblehead Knits and Mandy Vaughn of Diary of a Sweater Knitter. Both of them have wonderful podcasts. Definitely check it out. If you are knitting from your stash, you should go enter. I have blinds right here, and occasionally I hit them if you're new. So this like is a project that serves a multitude of knit-alongs. So I was able to use it for that. If I was putting it in my own knit-along, which obviously I'm not, but if I was, this would have also counted because I used a bunch of little scrap balls of the mohair. So that would have counted. And I also will be entering this in I don't remember the exact name of it. I want to say it's the Better Together make-along. I know it's hosted by Trish, who is the host of the Best Day Ever Crafting podcast. Her channel name is Tie Dye Diva, and I believe she's hosting it with Rochelle of, it's either like Queen City Yarns Boutique or Queen. It'll be linked down below, both of their pages. And for their make-along, I think it runs through the end of April. You are knitting things where you're holding 2 strands together, hence Better Together. And since I held mohair and fingering, it counts. I'll also be entering this in the Elder Stash make-along, which is hosted by Jen of the Stash Down Diaries, because I have... This main color is from like a bajillion years ago. It's one of my oldest hand-dyed yarns, so I can enter it in that. So lots and lots of make-alongs. Definitely go check those out. Elder Stash is about using your oldest stash or stash that's been in your stash for a long time. If you don't have a stash, then the newest yarn that you purchase is your oldest stash. So she's got a lot of, I don't know, it's fun. So I love watching her too. Her podcast is great. Okay, there's my little mini break. Okay, next whip. We're talking about whips still. This got a lot of work on it, and I only worked on it yesterday. So this is my Garden Rose cardigan. And this is a pattern by Rosemary Drysdale. It is from this book. Hang on. 60 Quick Knits for Beginners. I am definitely not a beginner, but I've had this book on my shelf for a very long time, and I'm trying to knit some things out of books that I have purchased. So this will be, I'm trying not to show the pattern, just the photo. So this is what that finished garment will look like. It is a baby cardigan. I am knitting the 24-month size. The library where I work for partners with an organization that donates hand knit and hand crocheted items to people in need. And so I am knitting some baby items to donate. I really like knitting baby things, but I have discovered I don't really enjoy knitting baby gifts. I feel like, at least for me, a lot of the ones that I have made for people have not really been appreciated. Or I also have found that sometimes people, will like befriend me a little bit more, and then I knit the gift and then they just disappear. And yeah, which is like, oof, okay. That can be really hard, and not just baby gifts. I've had that with other gifts too. So I'm very selective now about who I knit or sew or embroider or whatever for, because of that, because nobody likes to feel used for their skill. Anyway, all that being said, I enjoy knitting baby gifts just to donate because I like knitting the finished object. And it's a great way to build skills, and it'll go to somebody who really wants it and needs it. So this is my Garden Rose cardigan, and I knit all of this yesterday. So this is the back panel, and I love it. Love, love, love how this is coming out. I think this is so pretty. I was afraid that it was going to be very candy caney, and it kind of is. It's a little Where's Waldo. But it's also kind of nautical, so I really like it. The white stripes are seed stitch, and then you do plain stockinette on the red. I think that this is just a stunning, beautiful, very gender neutral little cardigan, which is great. So I'm excited to continue on that. I had a blast working on this yesterday. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm in my stripes era. I'm not really sure, but I'm really enjoying the striping. It's so fun. And red is probably one of my least favorite colors. I like all colors, but red is not my primary choice. But something about this red and this white is just doing it for me. It's so good. So I am using, the red is Stylecraft Special Double Knit in the colorway Lipstick. I've had 2 balls of this in my stash for forever. I ordered a ton of different reds years ago, trying to find the right red for a gift. And it's 100% acrylic. And like, it took me a lot of tries to find the right red. It was during COVID when yarns, like, nothing was open. You couldn't go in person. So I ordered a bunch of red, and instead of returning the ones that I didn't need, I thought, well, I'll use them eventually. And today is eventually. And then I have this white baby DK that I probably picked up from Joann's or Michael's or something. Gosh, probably like I've been knitting for a decade, so probably like 8 or 9 years ago. So anyway, there is that. And I am really enjoying it. I don't think I really have much more to say. I have a ton of white buttons, so I will use white buttons for this. I am not going to let this languish on the stupid buttons. But since this isn't for me or anyone that I know, I don't know, it seems easier to choose buttons. I'm also, just a heads up, we are expecting rain here, and I am noticing my lighting is changing a lot. I have had some challenges. Last podcast was my first time recording on this new phone, and I had some challenges with the editing. The raw footage looked great, and then when I put it into my editing software, the footage looked really weird. It got like, it almost looked like there was a film over it. Everything was just dulled. It was really strange. I did not like it. So I'm not sure whether that was a weird thing with just last week's video. I had to do a lot of light balance things that I don't normally have to do. So I don't know what's going on with that. So just be aware, colors may not be showing up exactly accurately on your screen. I don't know. I'm doing my best here. Okay, next up, in this bag that was given to me by one of you, I have the Argyle cardigan by Karen King Garlinghouse. This is in this book, 60 More Quick Baby Knits. I cast this on February 1st. It was my February 1st garment. I am using a size US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle, and US 3, 3.25 millimeter needle. I am again using Stylecraft Special DK, and I am making the 6-month size because that is the only size in here. The other one I chose 24 months because, one, I know a lot of people knit and donate like newborn things or, 0 to 3 months because they go so fast. Hardly anybody's knitting those big toddler sizes. And I want to use up as much of my yarn as I can. So I will knit the big toddler size. That's fine. Toddlers need cute things too. All right. So this is what it will look like. Hopefully. The color work is in Tarja. I am not super great at Intarsia. I have done Intarsia. I don't know. That's part of why I chose this. I'm working on skill building. That's part of my goal with casting on the garments. Partially the ones that I'm casting on for myself because I need more in my wardrobe, but also to build some skills. And baby garments that I'm donating are low stakes items. Because, they're small. They knit up quickly. The yarn is a tangled mess in here. Okay, so I have the back done, which I will find in this bag and pull out. But I also started one of the front panels and the color work. So this is what I have of the color work so far. Is it the best color work I've ever done? No. Is it the worst color work I've ever done? Also no. It's just, we're building skills. I don't really do Intarsia like you're probably supposed to. I just cannot, on these projects anyways, I just can't be bothered to wind a bobbin. I know it would take me 2 seconds and probably make my life easier, but I just can't be bothered, guys. I just can't make myself do it. But that's okay because I have 2 balls of the orange and I only need 1 of the brown. So it's all good. It's totally not a big deal. I'm just, instead of winding bobbins, having all these separate giant balls, but it's annoying, but it's fine. So I think it'll be okay. And I also think, again, these stitches, when it's washed, are going to relax a bit. It is acrylic, so they won't relax a ton, but it will look better. And yeah, so that's the little front. You may notice, where is the white part of the Argyle? I'm using white anyway. I guess I didn't say that. This is a tangled mess. I'm not pulling out these whole skeins, and I know the orange is copper, and I know the brown is walnut. I don't know what color the white is. I think it's like cream or something. But that like other outliney diamond piece, I'm just going to duplicate stitch that. I cannot fathom adding in a third color on this intarsia, and it's really not necessary. I think duplicate stitching will do just fine and maybe create a little less bulk as well. So anyways, that's what I have as far as the color work goes. And then the back is just plain brown. So I got all of that done. And then I was only down here the last time. So I knit all of this, and it is curling like crazy. So it's really hard to see. But I did get a fair bit done on this little cardigan, and it's so cute. I can't get over how cute the baby items are. Okay, so anyways, that is my Argyle cardigan. And I'm hoping I get to work on that more as well. I'm just enjoying these baby knits. I think they're really fun. Okay, last but not least is this one. This was my April 1st garment cast on, and this is not a baby one. So I cast on let me find my little note here, bear with me. I cast on the Man's Striped Vest by Mary or Mari, I'm not sure, Lynn Patrick. We'll go with Mary Lynn Patrick. This is a pattern in Knit Simple magazine, winter 2016 and 17. I'll try and find the photo here real quick of the finished vest. Like I said, I cast this on April 1st. I am knitting this on US size 5, 3.75 millimeter needles, and US size 6, 4 millimeter needles. I am making a size medium, put a pin in that, and I am using Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool. The main color will be oatmeal. The contrast color will be Nature's Brown. And those might sound familiar to you if you have been around a while. I knit each of us a flax in these yarns. This is for my husband, by the way. I guess I just assumed by Man's Striped Vest that you all would pick up on that, but maybe not. So my flax was in oatmeal, his flax was in the brown, and I had a lot left over. So we had talked about it, and I was like, well, it would be nice to knit a vest out of it. What's left for him. I have knit, this is the last vest I have to knit from this magazine. I have knit all three of the other men's vests that are in here. And this is what it will look like when it is done. So it's like reverse stockinette stripes, which I think is interesting. I've never really done anything like that before. Again, stripes though. So yeah, I'm excited about it. He's excited about it. Obviously, we're heading into spring and summer, so no rush on getting this done. But I've got the ribbing on the back panel started. It is knit flat and seamed. That's fine. It'll all be fine. I am a little nervous about running out of yarn. I'm always nervous about running out of yarn. I have a little less of this than I thought I did. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Now, I am knitting the men's size medium. If you have seen any Vlogmas or episodes with my husband we are not big people. I am only 5'2". He is only 5'6". And in store sizes, he usually wears somewhere between a small and a medium. So when looking at the pattern, we did some measurements and kind of figured out he wants it to fit a little bit closer. So the medium will give him just a touch of ease, which is what he wants. But again, he's only 5'6", and a men's medium usually is longer and meant for somebody a little bit taller. So I will probably only knit it to the length of the size small, the body portion. It is knit, again, bottom up, and you're seaming it. So I'll have to take that into account and kind of maybe hold it up or hold it up against one of the other vests that I have knit for him. And he is so knitworthy. He wears his sweater, his vests, his hats, his cows. He wears everything I knit him like all the time. So I know he'll wear it regardless, but hopefully I can get it to where it fits him just right and I don't run out of yarn. Since on a men's vest, a cropped version is not going to be feasible. The other thing that I could do, I guess, if I get to the end, no, I don't want to do that either. Never mind. I was going to say I could do the arm finishing and the neck band in the brown, which you could do. But I'm doing the ribbing on the bottom in the oatmeal, and I think that might look weird. So let's just hope I don't run out. Okay. Next up. That's it for the knitting. I don't normally talk about acquisitions, but I'm going to talk about one here real quick. Somebody donated this to the library where I work, so I was able to purchase this from our friend sale super cheaply, and I'm very excited. I got it yesterday. It is the 52 Weeks of Accessories by Lina Publishing. I've barely even flipped through this. I am so excited to have this. So excited to look through that and see what's in there. If you've knit anything out of this book, let me know. Or if you flip through it and some of your, you've marked things on your favorites, let me know. Okay. That is all for knitting content. I have one non-knitting finished object and a couple of books to chat about and some life stuff, and that's it. So if you were just here for the knitting, thank you so much for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you next time. If you're hanging out for the rest, thanks. Okay, so my finished object, my last one. I finally finished my embroidery piece that I have been working on for, I think, close to a year. I'm not sure. It's been a long road. I have loved it. I feel like I didn't really enjoy embroidery all that much before I started this, and I love embroidery now. So there is a closer photo. I don't know. There's a closer shot so you can really see all of these tiny stitches. I am so proud of it. I am so pleased with it. This is only my second finished embroidery project. I think I have a third one that I started and never finished, years ago, but this is my second one and I am really pleased with how it turned out. I don't know if that's what the back is supposed to look like. I know a lot of people don't show their backs for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to go against a wall. I don't care. It's fine. But yeah, I'm so proud of it. So anyways, that is my final finished object of this episode. I love it. I do have the kit that this was in, came with a second embroidery pattern. I'm taking a little break and then I will be starting that one. So very excited to have that. All right, reading. I have not finished a whole lot. I have only finished 2 books since we last chatted. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's right. I finished No Rest for the Wicked by Rachel Louise Adams, but I was pages away from being done with it last time, and I said I wasn't going to talk about it on this episode. So I did finish that, just in case you were wondering, right after the episode. Missing Sister by Jocelyn Jackson is the book I picked up next. It was a mystery thriller. I started that on March 28th, 2026 and finished it on April 4th, 2026. I did read it in print. It was 272 pages and I gave it 4.25 stars and it just came out I think a few weeks ago, so copyright 2026. So it is about Penny, who has been forever changed by her twin sister's sudden death. It's trigger warnings here. If you are not into murder, crime, thriller things, you might want to speed up a little bit. But anyways, her twin sister, they think it was suicide. It appears to be suicide, overdose, unintentional overdose. It's a little bit unclear. And that was 5 years before. So she's lost her twin sister. That changed her in profound ways, as it would anyone. She changed career paths from a chef to become a police officer. And she's in training. She's reached like very close to the end of it. She's going on her, training patrols or whatever. And she ends up on her first murder scene. And the man who has been murdered had harmed her sister in the past, which led to this chain of events that caused her sister to die. And she comes face to face with the killer and lets her go. And then the whole book, she becomes obsessed with her and finding her and talking to her and trying to connect these dots. And there's a lot of family stuff going on. So it's about family relationships and running from your past and all of these different themes. It was really well written. It had a really great twist at the end. I thought it was really good. It took me a while to get through it. I don't know. I think it was the writing. The writing is very good, but it's not like potato chippy, if that makes sense. It's like thinking writing, and I just have not been in a thinking space. So, but that's okay. It was really good. I would recommend it if you enjoy a well-written thriller that has more than just thriller themes. The next book that I read, I didn't put down my start date for this. I think it was the next day. I think it was April 5th, but it could have been the 4th. I just didn't write it down. I need to go back and do that. Was Cinder House, which I have right here. I finished it this morning, by Freya Marsky. I don't quite know. I read this in print. It has 136 pages, so it is a thin book. Copyright 2025, and I gave it 4.75 stars. So I thought this was really good. This is so interesting. So it is a fantasy. It is kind of a fresh, really different take on Cinderella. So it is about a girl, Ella, who is murdered by her stepmother and becomes a ghost and ends up haunting that house. And so it's from a different perspective. You still have the wicked stepmother and stepsisters, although they're a little more humanized than your Disney version. And Ella is trapped as a ghost, and then she meets a fairy and makes this bargain to go to the ball. And it's very interesting, and I really enjoyed the take. It took me a while to get through just because I haven't been reading, not really any other reason. It took me a little bit to get through, but it was very good and a very, I've seen or read so many different Cinderella takes, but this one really did feel fresh. I did not know where it was going. It had a very different ending. It was really good. And it was a great story. It was a really good read, a really fun, fresh take. So I would also highly recommend this one. All right, that is all I have read. Watching, I have been trying to catch up on podcasts. Lately, I have been gaming. I have been playing Pokopia. I have been playing Dreamlight Valley. We just got an update on that this week. So there's still been quite a bit of gaming, but my knitting mojo's back. I'm definitely knitting, so that's been good. Other life stuff. Life is lifing. I have some personal stuff going on that I am not chatting about here or much anywhere. And everything's okay. Everything's fine. I'm calling this my year of fruition, where things that I have been working towards or planning for or putting off, it's time to get them done and time to make some changes. And so we're making some changes and getting some things done and doing some things to move forward. And that is all, it's all good. it is all good. But that being said, it's taxing. There's a lot. The world is taxing and exhausting. My country is at war. That's a whole thing. Every day brings new and scary things, and in the news, yeah. So not going to go too deep into that. If you aren't living under a rock, I'm sure that you're aware of everything that's going on, or most things. But that weighs heavily, and there's just, life is a lot existing as a human being in 2026. Boy, is it a lot. It is a lot. So that being said, I haven't been online as much. I did make it kind of one of my personal goals this year to not be online as much and to get off my phone more and engage with my real life hobbies. And I know there's the whole analog movement and stuff, and that's very popular and very trendy. Just because it's a trend doesn't make it bad. I'm not going out and purchasing things to do analog stuff, but what I'm doing personally is we're like, for instance, if you know anything about my life, we are currently a one-car household. We have been for many years. So my husband and I, we commute to work and home together. We are together all the time. We love being together. It's the best. Like, if you marry your best friend, that's just the best thing. Like, we just enjoy each other's company so much. But then what happens is we sit down to dinner and we're on our phones. Like, which, you know, hasn't really bothered us because we're together all the time and we talk all the time. I cannot tell you how many times we have to be like, oh my gosh, we need to go to bed and we need to stop talking. It's like every night. Like, yeah. But that is one place that we have not been super intentional. And so, like, we pulled out a crossword book and we're going through a crossword book at dinner instead. And that has been fun. We used to do crosswords a lot years ago, and then we just stopped, like, together. So that's been really great. And, you know, picking up knitting, picking up my embroidery, doing other little crafts, doing other little fun, whimsical things. I've done a couple of puzzles, things like that. I just want to be off my phone more and use the things that I have that have been sitting in a closet or that haven't gotten touched or done in a few years. So that's a lot of why I'm not online. And because honestly, just seeing the opinions of thousands of people that I don't know every day is a lot. And seeing hundreds of opinions of people that I do know is also a lot. And I don't really need all of that all the time. So anyways, I'm okay. It's all good. Some of these changes, if they actually occur, you know, some of these personal things, I'll clue you in on. If they don't, then I probably won't. But just know I'm okay. There's a lot taking up my brain space right now. It's a lot to be a person. And yeah, it's a lot. So anyways, that's why I haven't been online as much. There was something else that I was going to talk about, and now it has escaped me. Sunday is our wedding anniversary. It'll be 13 years. So we're going to be doing fun stuff this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. I think we're going to go to a bookstore that we went to last year for our anniversary. I think we'll do that tomorrow. Sunday is supposed to be beautiful here, like 78 degrees and sunny. So we might go to a park or something. I have taken a long weekend, so I am off until Tuesday. Yay, I go back to work Tuesday, which is a much needed little break. Yeah, I needed a little break. So anyway, pocket of delight. I almost forgot. Have you guys been following the Artemis 2, the astronauts and flying by the moon? Because I have. Mason and I were both off work Monday, and we spent like 8 hours glued to this footage. That's when I finished my embroidery, which I think it's So fun. And maybe some of you experience this too as knitters, as crafters. I did this very pale green was done during the Artemis 2 Fly by the Moon, which it's so fun to have a memory like that stitched into a piece where I can say, oh yeah, I was here. Here's what I was doing when they flew past the moon. It's really, really cool. And I love the crew has just been like relaying messages of peace and hope and unity and kindness, and it's just been refreshing and hopeful and beautiful, and I have been obsessed. I am so enjoying it, and I am hoping that they have a very safe return to Earth later today. All right, I am gonna wrap this up. I will see you guys hopefully in a couple of weeks. And I hope that over the next couple of weeks, you find time to craft or knit or get outside or cozy up or read a book or do a puzzle or whatever it is that brings you joy in your little corner of paradise. And I will be over here knitting away and learning all of the space things in my little corner of paradise. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.